Peace, 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 peace. Today we're looking at how the path is clear and lonely. The path that you know to move forward. It's clear for you and it's lonely because everyone else doesn't see it and it's not well traveled. Also, how spiritual maturity often, almost always, equals being comfortable with being misunderstood. Nina Simone has a song. I would sing my way through this whole class, except for the fact that I do not own any of that music. I don't need YouTube coming through this class, through this sharing. But I don't need YouTube coming for this video because I sang through the whole thing. Nina Simone has a song, "Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood," because being understood is true intimacy. Being understood is knowing, it's close, it's it's sweet, it's giggles, it's inside jokes, it's not forced, it just is. But no one really wants to be misunderstood. However, when you are charting a path that everyone else is not on or cannot see or does not understand, you are going to be misunderstood. And it takes being able to sit in that lack of understanding by those around you. Because oftentimes, at least for me, as I'm following, I'm listening, and I'm learning, the road is unfolding for me. I take a step, the road unfolds. I take another step, and the path unfolds. So I can't even fully explain what is happening. I can give my understanding, I can share my revelations, my gratitude, what constellations are being formed by all these stars that the divine is laying out for me. But I can't, the song I'll run on and see what the end's going to be. I don't know the end. I know right now. So you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, or more aptly put, get comfortable with others' discomfort, with them being uncomfortable. Because you get to a point where you are comfortable in being misunderstood. You have to be. You're comfortable in watching watching the blessings unfurl. The more time that is spent explaining to others, overthinking, second guessing, the more time that is spent in dialogue with other people trying to explain where you are or what you see or what you hear is time taken away from quiet reflection, is time taken away from listening to the divine, is time taken away from hearing your ancestors, is time taken away from creating out of your depths, is time taken away from executing your next big, beautiful plan. Stopping to try to explain robs you of that intimate, that quiet creation. When I was in college, I said before that Octavia Butler is she's one of my favorites. She is my favorite author. Um, and when I was in college as a freshman, Octavia Butler came to our campus. So I'm very grateful because I had no idea how much I was going to love her as time went on. Um, but Octavia Butler is, and even though she has transitioned out of her body, she is a grand, imposing figure. And I say that because of her physical presence. very tall, beautifully brown. Her voice was very deep, like rich, deep, and not like she was putting on just like this is what her voice is. And even being taking up space physically, her demeanor is very present and steady and quiet. Right now, outside it is snowing or raining or snow is melting or something, but there's a steady drop. Something is dropping outside. And so that's been happening since last night. So there's times where I'm tuned into it, and there's times when I'm not, but it is steady. And that's how it felt being in her presence. So there were a few of us, a few students who were pulled out to walk with her or meet whatever her needs were or listen to her for a while before she spoke at Ogden Hall at Hampton University. That was for all you bison. But she spoke at Ogden Hall and she stood up there and she stood at the podium and she talked about it could have been one of the Pattern Master series. But regardless, she talked about waking up in the middle of the night to have one of her characters speak out of her mouth. So, waking up in the middle of the night and a character speaking out of her body is telling her what the character, what is going to be done in this book for the character. Character is speaking. And Nana Octavia is listening. And she writes. And she tells us this is a frequent occurrence that her characters will come to her and tell her, that's not it. That's not where I'm going to be. This is where I need to be. That is not something that can be explained to anyone else. That is not something. How do you explain that? That you wake up in the middle of the night at 3 or 4 during the witching hours of the morning and your characters are talking to you through your body, talking to you. That is not something you can explain, but you can honor it and you can move forward in it and you can go. It doesn't matter what the publisher wants, it doesn't matter what anyone else understands. I hear these characters and I will honor what they are saying. I will write them down. I will be the vessel. I will be their conduit. I will be this translator of the in between. I will do that. That can't be explained. And the fact that she shared that with us, whether we understood it or not, is a symbol of, is a truth, not just a symbol of her own spiritual maturity. I read a story in Vibe some time ago, Vibe magazine when it was still being printed, that said, I don't know if it was Prince or Michael Jackson, I can't remember which one, but one of them would hear music in there, like in the middle of the night, hear music and rush to get it down because they felt like if they didn't do it, then the other one would. So if Michael heard the music, he got to go get it down so Prince won't write it, or if Prince heard the music, he got to go get it down so Michael won't write it, because the feeling that many of us know to be true is that you feel honored and blessed that the ether, the universe, the creator, all the great mystery has honored you with this gift. And if it is coming to you, it's possible that it could come to someone else. I'm listening to, before I sat down to do this, I was listening to Toni Morrison, and she was talking about uh, writing stories in a way where her publisher was advising her not to, where she can start a story knowing the end, but not knowing the middle, and having to trust the process. I said to you all before, there's there are quite a few animated films with uh, the quote unquote crazy old lady. She's usually the sharpest one in the whole movie. When you think about Mama Odie, think about Moana's grandma. You think about Mulan's grandma, they they are the oracles. They are the soothsayers. They have that knowing that's in your bones. And especially in Mama Odie's and Moana's grandma's case, they are deliriously happy and they don't care what you think. There's no space within them to care. It's not that they're actively making the choice to say, you're upset. I'm not going to pay attention to that. They are so filled with their connection to the great mystery, to the divine, to their ancestors, that there's no space for seeking anyone else's understanding. And so I want to encourage you, all those examples, the artist, the cartoons, the crazy ladies, that your our spiritual maturity is reflected in being okay being misunderstood, because the sweetness of your spiritual maturity is reflected in being okay with being misunderstood, because there is such being misunderstood by other people, because there is such sweetness in being understood and understanding the creator, your ancestors, your guides. That is such a delicious frequency. It is what makes me giggle out loud to myself sometimes. It is what makes me stop and talk to myself. And I'm probably not just talking to myself. In fact, I know I'm not. It makes me do those things because that is a very large blessing. And the taking yourself out of that space to debate with, to over explain to try and assuage someone else's fears, to try and put someone in a place of ease or understanding, it robs you of that. It robs you of that space. So I just wanted to encourage you, um, that it's okay. It's okay to be misunderstood. It's okay. I'll say it one more time. It's okay to be misunderstood. And oh, I had one more for you. The Some time ago in my mid 20s, um, Queen Afua had come to Richmond, and we were at a festival, and she was talking about Sacred Woman, which, you know, uh, Asia Fatine said that if you look at a woman's bookshelf, uh, at a certain age, it's reflective of the women of her generation. So, for a great deal of us in particular communities and of certain ages, Sacred Woman is on our bookshelves. That beautiful lavender book. It's an amazing resource. And when I first heard Queen Afua speaking out loud, she said that when she submitted her book, her manuscript for Sacred Woman, it was rejected 11 times. And if someone has another number, it would be higher. Please put it in the comments. But she said her book was rejected 11 times, which means at least those are the times she has record. At least in those spaces, 11 different houses, people, numerous people in those publishing houses did not understand her. And give thanks that she kept pushing, because so many of us count on that resource. We hand it to our daughters. We share it with our sisters. We use it as it's shorthand. Oh, well, go look at Sacred Woman and look at such and such. You need directions on something, go look in there and use that along with what you know. So that was one of the stories that I wanted to share, to say it's okay. Not only is it okay to be misunderstood, you get in a place where it's like that, you might want to wiggle just a little bit. You might want to do your little like, hmm, this feels good, your little happy dance, your little comfortable, your little shimmy. I know that you're on the right path. So I will see you again very soon. We're getting very close to that lovely story instruction that I said I wanted to share. And be okay. Be okay with being misunderstood here when you know that you are understood here. Okay. This is Reverend Akonfo, Molly Moon Yogi, Sister Mama Adi saying peace.